Well, one politician, and I will say a man that I've known and in the past have had a good relationship and seemed like a soft-spoken man, but somebody that posted this weekend, Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah, obviously facing strong criticism for a social media post about the Minnesota shooting suspect.
Don't see R-rated movies.
What my psychiatrist recommended is you can take medication.
We are into it. First of all, we are going to end all sanctuary cities.
Governor Cox also cites a memo that Bernanke's office issued a memo calling Utah a sanctuary state.
With the help of two Hebrew scholars, I learned that one of the Hebraic meanings of the word Israel is let God prevail.
Travis Wayne Goodsell, Isaiah, also called Jesus, chapter 34, verse 6. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, with the blood of the lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorns came down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And then here's the prophecy of Joseph Smith, Isaiah 53:7. He was oppressed, he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, as a sheep before her shearers is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. Jeremiah 11:19, talking about Joseph Smith. But I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought to the slaughter, and I knew not that they had devised devices against me, saying, Let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may no more be remembered. Jeremiah 51:40. And Babylon, in 37 we'll start. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, an astonishment and a hissing without an inhabitant. They shall roar together like lions, they shall yell as lions' whelps. In their heat I will make their feasts, and I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep and wake not, saith the Lord. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with the he-goats. How is Shishak taken? And how is the praise of the whole earth surprised? How is Babylon become an astonishment among the nations? The sea is come up upon Babylon. She is covered with the multitude of waves thereof. Her cities are a desolation, a dry land and a wilderness, a land wherein no man dwelleth, neither any son of man passed thereby. I will punish Bel in Babylon. And then Acts chapter 8, talking about Joseph Smith. Chapter 8, verse 32. The place of the scripture which he read was this: He was led as a sheep to the slaughter, and like a lamb dumb before his shearer, so opened he not his mouth. Book of Mormon, likewise, prophesies of the slaughter of Joseph Smith. Mosiah chapter 14, verse 7, verse 6 is, All we like sheep have gone astray. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgressions of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he hath done no evil, neither was any deceit in his mouth. And then here's the explanation that I told you. It's Joseph Smith. When Joseph went to Carthage, section 135, verse 4, to deliver himself up to the pretended requirements of the law, 2 or 3 days previous to his assassination, he said, I am going like a lamb to the slaughter, but I am calm as a summer's morning. I have a conscience void of offense towards God and towards all men. I shall die innocent, and it shall yet be said of me, he was murdered in cold blood. The same morning, after Hiram was made ready to go, shall it be said to the slaughter. Yes, for so it was. And he read the 12th chapter of Ether in the Book of Mormon. Talking about the garments being clean and without blood. Trump Ice 2025. So, Nelson on Sunday ordered Mormons to be peacemakers. So Senator John D. Lee of Utah, third great grandson, obeyed, living prophet of Jesus, and he obeyed like any good little Mormon boy. And he shocked the deep state as he posted about the mass assassin murderer. That was his intention. He had a list of 70 names. So Senator Mike Lee posted on porn. This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way. They get murdered. Peacemaker, fight the power. And then Senator Lee, this is the big story. All Mormons should be shocked and horrified and should shun Mike Lee now. He's a naughty boy. I need to put that video in. Trying to retire, waiting for Zion. The enemy is slow to respond. Benson. No R-rated movies. Senator Lee's a naughty boy. The Peacemaker, Mike Lee. Nightmare on Waltz Street. What? I don't understand, Travis. It's because you don't watch R-rated movies. This is the trap. Senator Mike Lee knows that anybody who knows this is from a R-rated movie will be silent about it. As the rest of the world won't understand Senator Mike Lee's not allowed to watch R-rated movies. It's similar to the concept of going on Fast and Testimony Sunday to go golfing instead, and while golfing you get a hole-in-one. Nobody would ever know. Except here in Utah, where everybody goes golfing on Sunday. Might as well just hold church on the golf court. And so, Norman Orenstein replied to Senator Lee's comments. What the hell is Mike Lee doing? He has completely lost it. And so Mike Lee responded, Marxism is a deadly mental illness like porn. What happened to that big beautiful bill of yours, Lee? And then there's a bunch of facial expressions from the Morning Joe, who is concerned. I know, Senator Lee, we've been cordial with each other. I'm shocked and horrified that a Mormon would say such things. I thought Mormonism believed they were religious, that they were peacemakers. So, I think that's pretty much it. We just got a bunch of shocked deep state Dems. Peacemaker Mike Lee. I told you it had nothing to do with being a peacemaker. It's peacemaker when everybody's dead. You didn't believe. You didn't believe. So take that, YouTube. Gotcha. CBS lost all their videos. This channel has no content. Has no videos. Sorry, everybody. CBS showed porn. And as a religious social media site for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, it was banned. Sorry, YouTube, you cannot follow a religious morale. You have to follow the Constitution. You are in violation. You have to take down your policies and conform them to the United States Constitution. Otherwise, you are insurrectionists. If you want to be a religious site, you need to state that you are a religious site. You don't even have religion as an option to choose. And yet there you are with your policies and values conforming and complying to religion. You bastards. Take it down. Conform to the United States of America. So, stocks were back up yesterday after the weekend, when Friday was a great fall. See, the church was anticipating the potential for attacks over the weekend, and thus they pulled their stocks from the stock market. And so since nothing happened again, we're never going to Zion. America are too sheepled because of the brainwashing of mentally retarded care professionals. And so the church went back and invested more money back into the stock market yesterday. But over the weekend, Utah made national news for the shooting at the rally, protest, strike in Salt Lake City for the shooting that occurred. And then there was also a shooting in West Valley City 8-month-old toddler was also slaughtered. I feel safe in West Valley City. I feel safe in Salt Lake City. Should we? I feel safe in New York City. He's holding up traffic. Is he Australian or is he British? Oh, God. Feel safe in New York City. Feel safe in New York City. Wikipedia says that they're Australian. The band was formed in Australia by a couple of British brothers, according to Reddit. The rest are British, except for Phil Rudd, who is the only Australian born. Okay. So they're British, formed in Australia, with only one Australian. Because they were all criminals and sent to Australia for the rest of their life. You do know that, right? Australia was the dumping ground for criminals by the Brits. So, but I am glad Utahns made me prouder as the Saturday protest. I told you in advance with Thursday, I need to see those American flags, guys. That is how you protest an anarchist as an authoritarian neo-Nazi who claims that you are violating the Constitution. You need to throw the Constitution back in his face, and thus the American flag will do that. And so Saturday, apparently the word got around better than on Thursday, as Fox 13 News Utah showed more American flags. At least over a dozen that I saw. So good for you guys. Good for you. But the Nation, the videos that I was seeing of the Nation, no American flags. What the hell? Fighting the wrong argument. Fighting the wrong argument. And then to finish it off, just a quick and easy Trump ice thing. Quick and easy. I already destroyed the church numerous ways, 8.7K videos, did it again last night. Went for the jugular. See, I'd easily gone back to every single president of the church that has a video on the church's site, going back to 1971 with Joseph Fielding Smith Sr., or Jr. 1871. And took out all of the statements that Joseph Smith saw Jesus in the grove, and then slammed you with Section 84. I knew as a kid getting baptized. I'm being told about the first vision. And then I'm being told that baptism is required to receive the Holy Ghost, and then to pave the way to go to the temple for the initiatories to become a Melchizedek. So why wasn't Joseph? Why was he able to see the face of God and live? See, because otherwise it only makes sense as a dream. Because in dreams you can do anything. You can fly on the back of a white horse in outer space. You can do battle with dragons and unicorns. Frogs come out of people's mouths as a false prophet and a beast. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And turning water into wine and walking on water. Coming from outer space without a spaceship and without a spacesuit to the Native American Indians after destroying everybody with the power of your glory. Yeah, lots of things can happen in dreams that can't happen in reality. And yet, because of the first creed of Christianity, all of that was turned into literal history. And thus, denial of science began. Denial of history, and thus the revisionist history began. Abominable. And that's why the book of Revelation almost didn't make it in. It was right there on the fringe of being too not real. But many other apocalyptic literature did not make it in. Because each of those gospels that you believe are just gospels about Jesus, who can do denials of physics, each and every one of them have an apocalypse. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, they all have their apocalypse. For Matthew, it's Matthew 24 and 25. That's an apocalypse. That was separate from the other part of Matthew. When the Christians combined the Bible together, according to what passes the test for the first creed of Christianity, they started combining books together, claiming it's by the same author. And so in Revelation, the first part, talking to the seven churches in Turkey, yeah, that was not part of the dragons and flying horses stuff. It was a completely different book. But the Christians didn't care. They were just throwing it all together. And then you had a redactor, as he's called, who would go in specifically to the writings of Paul and write in, "Women are evil." And then also in Matthew 24, "No man knows the day or the hour." Because they know that the day and the hour is given. But now that it's been turned into literal history, they have to tell people, no, there are no dates here. But everybody knew. But the dates. No man knows. And thus began the great deception. And so you take away books from the people, you force them to listen to the leader of the congregation, and then he tells you what to believe based on what the scriptures tells him to tell the people. Then you get painters who screw it up even more. Yes, it was an apple. Apples are to blame for the fall of women causing it. Women are evil. Burn them. Burn the witch. And thus consequences. Real simple, not hard to figure out. And yet all hell is broken loose. And sweet little innocent women are dead as lambs to the slaughter. See, I can tie it all together. I can tie it all together. So Trump yesterday went to the G7 in Alberta. And was offended with everybody being mean to him, and so he left. During the press conference, Trump wanted to tell everybody how it is, his truth. The brand new governor of the 51st state of America said, "Thank you all for coming. We're done." Thank you all for coming. But I'm not done. This is my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my party, and I'll speak if I want to. Speak if I want to. I haven't heard that song in forever. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Maybe that should be the theme song. My party and I'll cry if I want to. There you go, for my older generation who think that AC/DC is of the devil. And so, yeah, he also did something that everybody's laughing at him for. Also, he was doing a press conference with the governor of the 51st state out in the air, and he drops all his papers. Oops. I'm going home. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. And so, yes, Trump in his fury then sent troops to Tehran. We're about to bomb Tehran now. And he also ordered the ramping up of deportations in sanctuary states, except for Utah, because they're not a deep state, Dem state. And that is what I was worried about. That Trump didn't mean actual sanctuary states, sanctuary cities. Utah is a sanctuary state. It's the same as Southern California with those from Mexico. They're Mormon. But the Mormons in Mexico are from California and not in Utah. And so the California Mormons get deported. The Utah Mormons, Islamic Mormons, don't. Because Utah is believed to be a MAGA state when it's a sanctuary state for the deep state Dems. Salt Lake City is more dominantly deep state Dem. And yet, Trump won't touch Utah. I warned him, it's a trap. They're gonna murder you. They're peacemakers. Just like you. It's a trap, Trump. It's a trap. Lee, don't shake his hand. He's a peacemaker. So, lambs to the slaughter. That is their practice. Lie in wait to slaughter. That's the title. I think I already have the title, though. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Yeah, Lee.